What is up, guys, and welcome back once again to the Ebby Space Agency journey here on Kerbal Space Program Career Mode. We're here for episode number 36 then, and here for a nice sunny day at the KSC after a fairly successful episode 35. Last episode then, if you haven't seen it already, do go check it out, but for a quick recap, we started a drive along Duna with our old rover base, ready for the next series of Duna missions en route shortly, as well as sent a rescue mission and added a new Kerbal to our roster, and sent some Sarnus probes out into deep space to start exploring the Saturn equivalent system, shall we say, in our solar system. But we're going to start our episode today then with another new space plane. I'll welcome into the roster the KC-410 Soundscream, named by Twitch chatter Just Casa. And yeah, I love this thing. It is essentially just a shuttle variant, and we'll see it take off now. Here we go, guys. First mission for this thing. Let's go. Best of luck. It's gonna need it with me at the controls. I'm gonna move myself over a little bit so I'm not getting in the way of the girls. And let's pull up. There we go. Nice and easy. And we're gonna continue pulling up. Because we're using an aero spike and we're not using a air-breathing engine, we're just going to go straight into a 45-degree climb if we can. And just get clear of the atmosphere. So yeah, you see the takeoff roll there, pretty straightforward. This thing's got a lot of power and a good amount of Delta V on board as well, as it takes off from the runway and makes its way up into the inky blackness that is low Kerbin orbit. Apologies for no engine sounds. Unfortunately, the game audio for this episode is a bit bugged, so it is tentative at best. I have figured out what the cause is, so good news is it will only be this episode that should have that. But yeah, unfortunately, it is quite quiet for this one. Hence the background music throughout the entire episode. But you see in the background there, we get up into LKO. We test the cargo bay doors, and we extend the solar panels, and we set our sights on our rendezvous target, which is going to be the Minmus refinery, guys. It is currently in its parking orbit, awaiting deconstruction, and we're going to start that process now. You see, we start our rendezvous, and before long, it was actually quite quick, to be fair. We get ourselves rendezvoused with the station, and essentially what we're going to do is we're just going to yeet off a couple of modules here and dock them into the cargo bay. You see the ISRU arm, we turn it off first, and then we go ahead and undock it, as well as one of the fuel tanks, and that's going to be what the first two parts of this station to be recycled. So you see, we undock the ISRU arm here, and we also undock one of those liquid fuel tanks, because both of those we absolutely have enough space in the cargo bay for them. This is the inaugural flight of the Soundscream, so we need to test the concept first as well, right? And so we're not choosing the most taxing launch first. The ISRU wasn't really separating as quickly as I'd like to, so I took the RCS space tug there, you see, and just nudged it on its way just to get it separated before we then take control of this space plane again, and we essentially, because it had a little bit of a rotation on it, we just kind of thumped it into the cargo bay and allowed it to slide towards the back there. There is a 1.25 meter docking port there for it to clamp onto, and that's what we do there. And then it's the turn of the ISRU arm. We do it this way around because that converter-tron only has one docking port on one end of it. The other is just a blank face, and yeah, so we had to do it that way. From there, then Steldrin, the flight engineer for this mission, will go out and essentially just clamp it in place. The last thing we need when we're trying to re-enter is the cargo coming a little bit loose and wobbling around in the cargo bay, right? So we wanna just basically stay on top of that, and for that purpose, we are now just clamping it in place. We do get a weird UI bug where the rotation wheel from the editor like floats behind the space plane. I don't know what really caused that, but yeah, we'll move on and pretend we didn't see that, right, guys? And yeah, Steldrin has now sorted out that, and off she goes to the cockpit. As you see, she sets up a little bit of information on the raster prop monitor there, and yeah, guys, we set our sights back to the KSC. We've kind of figured out how to aim for the Space Center now, which is good. And you see there we are. We're just burning to begin the deorbit process, and yeah, we enter fairly nicely. This thing, because it's so similar to our Scuffmaster space plane, especially with the lifting body sort of shape, we don't really struggle with controlling this thing in the upper atmosphere, and as such, we kind of just glide this down all the way. We don't really need to do any like high G turns or anything like that, and yeah, we bring it in nice and calm into the space center. So you see there, we're just kind of floating it down. At this point, we were sort of testing the flaps as well. You'll see in a second as we punch through this final bank of clouds en route. You see the flaps deploy. It was dropping the nose down quite considerably because of how far back the flaps are, basically. So we kind of bring them up. We realize that we can use a little bit of flaps, but not too much. And yeah, we're nicely lined up for the runway here as we float it on in for the inaugural landing of this new space plane. Honestly, I love it. It glides really nicely, and yeah, it was honestly probably one of the smoother landings I've made in this career mode. For those of you that have seen it before, you'll know. But yeah, we basically float down half the runway, and then we just sort of bump into the concrete there before deploying the drogue chutes to slow ourselves down, and then deploy the air brakes, and we come to a nice steady stop on the runway. And that is the first components, guys, returned to Kerbin from our old school Minmus refinery. So successful mission all round, and I think we all in with the use of fuel and stuff like that. I think we brought back about 50 grand, something like that. So I don't know how economically, and I suppose emotionally viable this is, but yeah, it is successful regardless. Back over to the Red Planet then, we are continuing on with the next leg of the rover's intrepid journey across the sandy wastelands. Wastelands. Good God, Ebby, talk English for a change. The sandy wastelands that is the Duna surface, dodging the rocks and trying to take care of this rover as best we can on its 200-kilometer journey from its original site to the site of the Duna 3 mission. The astronauts will be getting ready soon, but we still have some preparation to do for that mission, so they haven't set off from Kerbin yet, but the ship is already in orbit in the form of the Cyclops transfer ship. That's right, we are going to be turning it around and refurbing it ready for use. And yeah, that's we did that. We did a 30-kilometer stint there, and it's going to park up and recharge, and it's off back to closer pastures. And we head to mission control, and we're going to take a Sentinel telescope mission there to discover some asteroids that may be threatening Kerbin. So we're designing a Sentinel telescope craft here, as you see in the editor. Nothing super special, just a small probe body with the telescope sort of placed on top. It is on a solar orbit, but it's sort of placed between Kerbin and Eve, so we don't have to have a lot of fuel on there. As you see, we're using 2.5 meter parts, but that's mainly for 1.25 meter parts, just to keep it at the weight nice and low. And yeah, you see there, we're just completing it off. We do a 1.8 meter lifting body for the launch vehicle, but again, very, very sort of lightweight, cheap, more importantly, craft for us to complete this contract. And yeah, it's about ready to go. We use some of these sort of smaller boosters, and yeah, we're going to head over to the launch pad now. I don't know why the plumes are on. I'll be honest, I don't know why the plumes are on. It's beyond me. Let me... Yep. Okay, we're good to go. We have the Sentinel part. Yeet. Okay, let's keep going, keep going, keep going. Big power. There we go, nice. And so yeah, again, I don't know what the plumes are showing on that on those side boosters are all about, because we didn't have the throttle on at the time. Another sort of plume glitch. I think there's going to be some mod conflicts or something causing that. But the actual launch itself goes off fairly smoothly, nothing too crazy, and we go ahead and we set up our burn to reach the mandated altitude. And honestly, it is fairly straightforward, right? We pop the hood so we can extend the solar panels and the antennas. And soon enough, we're getting underway, right? Exiting the SOI of Kerbin, basically just throwing ourselves into deep space between Eve and Kerbin. And we didn't really have much in the calendar between then and when we're supposed to do the burn to circularize, so we just fast forwarded through. And yeah, it's in position now, guys, and what that will be doing is just spending its time mapping out any threats to Kerbin. So that's going to be a passive process, and yeah, I'm sure it will yield some interesting results over the course of its career. Back home towards Kerbin, though, we did get some science points from that, so we head into the research center, and we just kill off a couple of dead nodes, ones that just don't have anything in them, just so that we can continue progressing the tech tree in a fairly uniform manner. The one thing that we did get, though, is essentially it's like a Mark II spaceplane nerve engine. The concept of it being, obviously, it does the same thing as the nuclear engine, just for Mark II spaceplanes. But back up in space now, it's time to look out to the next Duna mission, and the Cyclops transfer ship is just floating in space, waiting for a refuel, waiting for a bit of a refurbishment, and we're going to start taking that seriously now. And the first thing we're going to do is start to refuel it. So the Beluga Rat, the new space plane that we created in episode 34, is going to have its first test of what it was actually designed for, which is it's going to go ahead and take off from Minmus in a moment before slowing itself down via aero braking over Kerbin. So let's go take a look. Not the correct place, so let's let's go. And so yeah, we take off from the surface of Minmus quite nicely because of the flats and the microgravity and the fact that it's a space plane. We're able to do an almost conventional takeoff from the surface of Minmus, which I like. It's quite quirky. It's quite fun to do. And yeah, we cruise on up. We realised as well that one of the whiskers of the Beluga Rat is a little bit askew. So we get Chadpond, the craft engineer, out. He's just gonna, while they're on ascent, they've got about 45 minutes before their circularization burn. He's just going to go out and do a little bit of maintenance, realigns the whisker there from one of the antennas, but as his pilot has a quick look at him out the cockpit window there. He takes a seat before he realizes, oh yeah, we've got to relocate the solar panels on the dorsal of the aircraft as well, and so he hops out. Because they were clipping into each other. We just wanted to make sure that they were clear of each other as well, and you see he's just resighting those there. Not really crucial, but obviously we want to have everything nice and neat, and for whatever reason they just weren't deploying previously as expected. So yeah, he jumps back into the cockpit before they then perform their exit burn from Minmus, and well, we basically just get ourselves aligned with a re-entry profile for Kerbin. But on our descent, guys, we get a little bit of an alarm as we've got a plane adjustment for the Sarnus 1 Pro Pack that we launched last episode. This is just a a sort of course correction that we need to perform to make sure that it does, in fact, intercept Sarnus at a suitable altitude. So we go ahead, we perform that. Only 170 meters per second, plenty of delta V on offer for this. And yeah, we get that all sorted out. You see, we actually get ourselves a nice slate encounter as well. So yeah, we get that sorted before hopping back over to the space plane for its first attempt at re-entry. So obviously this thing is not really designed to re-enter to land. It can do that, but its main thing is just to aero brake in the upper atmosphere in Kerbin. So you see there, we're hovering sort of around the 50 to 40 kilometer mark. To start slowing ourselves down. A couple of those antennas starting to get a little bit warm, but you see we kind of deflect the majority of the heating by sort of forcing the belly into the air first rather than the nose. And eventually it took about 5 passes through the atmosphere because we were going very, very gently as it was its first test flight performing that duty. We do eventually get ourselves with an intercept, which is good. So yeah, we now just basically get the rendezvous sorted before we start pushing ourselves towards the Cyclops transfer ship. And I wanted to do this in and around the vicinity of the spaceport, but obviously with the Cyclops being completely empty of fuel at the moment, we had to do it sort of in space, right? So thankfully we do have a docking port with the correct sort of diameter, so we just dock to the nose of the craft, and then we begin the very long and sort of time-consuming process of transferring the fuel. Now, the good thing about this craft is it is big enough that we can basically just refuel it in one sitting. As you see, we're transferring all the fuel across at the moment, and yeah, thankfully we get this the Cyclops transfer ship completely refueled. It is now, for want of a better phrase, ready to go back to Duna. We may need to sort of update it with a bit more life support just to make sure that it survives the full course of the next mission. But yeah, that is the Beluga Rat's inaugural mission pulled off and successful. So we take ourselves back to Minmus. You see, we've got about 400 meters per second of delta V there. We land without much fanfare, much the same as we did, was it episode 34, a couple of episodes ago, and we taxi our way back to the refinery. And yeah, we basically pull up. We still need to sort of try and put a new docking port onto the refinery. But we'll do that later on. That's just to make things a little bit easier for ourselves. It is still perfectly functional. And yeah, back home, we are setting ourselves up with another airline mission. That's right, the Trans-Kerbin Airlines are still operating out of the KSC, and they're about to take a mission for Kahave Sands and Folderan View. So we're going to pull out the 767 Crater in a box, and we're going to watch this because we haven't seen one of these in an episode in a minute. And brakes off. There we go. Okay. Come on, rotate. There we go. How long's our flight today? Probably about 45 minutes, because we've got 2 stops to make. And yeah, it's like I said, it's been a minute, guys, but I genuinely do thoroughly enjoy these missions. They're not really profitable, but just flying around Kerbin with the volumetric clouds mod, the sort of the vapor trails from Waterfall, things like that. It's just nice. All these beautification mods, and we never get to use them at home. So yeah, I do enjoy using these. And yeah, we approach Folderan View first. That's our first stop here, and you see we actually nail the landing. I've widened the rear landing gear on this thing, and it has made made the landings so much more stable. So yeah, it was actually very enjoyable to do. As you see, we taxi over to the ramp there and begin the transfer process before we then get our clearance to take off once again. So we get ourselves lined up on runway 33, and we're going to go ahead and take off and head over to Cahave Sands in the desert to sort of in the same vicinity as the desert airfield. I think it's a bit further west. But we go ahead and set ourselves up before we take the flight over and make our approach. And again, another decent landing. And yeah, this was quite a nice, relaxing sort of mission. This was towards the end of the stream, and it was just a good way to finish everything off, to be honest with you. And again, we now take the homeward leg as we take off and head back towards the KSC. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoy these missions, so we might put some more in the series. Hopefully you guys enjoy them too, as we then descend back towards the KSC. We take the main runway, the shorter one, because it's just closer to the spaceplane hangar. It saves a long taxi back, and we pull up and park, ready to disembark all of our passengers. And then finally, guys, for this episode, we are just doing a little bit of housekeeping. So our relay sat network has fallen a little bit out of sync. They've been in space for probably around about 16 years now. They had about a difference of about a tenth of a second, a half. No, I think it was about a second, actually, between one of the satellites, the one that we're looking at now, and the other two in the network. And as such, it's just drifted over time out of position. So we're just firing the engines. We're going to shorten its orbit by a couple of hours. And we basically just wait for it to get back into position at Apwaps, and then we're going to fire the engines again just to bring it to a stop. Again, just to try and get that sort of full 360-degree arcs of coverage for the networks. That is now back in position. But that brings us, guys, to the end of this episode. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and subscribe. It does help me out massively, helps me know that you would enjoy the series. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below on anything that you've seen today, suggestions or observations. It'd be, I enjoy reading you guys' comments. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.